Michael Rocco, and I'm the drummer in East Coast Jazz here. We've been playing, actually today is our 90th brunch performance. It's over 60 years I've been playing. My parents were really brave and bought me a drum set when I was like 5 years old because a neighbor, who was one of my cousins, was a musician and a drummer. And I have pictures, embarrassingly so, I was a toddler, and they had me on the drum throne with sticks in my hand, like knocking the drums around a little bit. And I don't know, somebody thought like, hey, maybe he's got a little talent there or something. We'll get him a drum set and see what happens. Well, 60 plus years later, I'm still playing. You know, if you contrast it with just say pop music, okay, pop music has a very structured format, right? There's a verse and a chorus and a verse and a chorus and maybe a bridge and a verse and a chorus and an ending, right? And I think people are used to, you know, listening to that style of music because that's what's mostly played on the radio. And, you know, I think they're looking, when they listen to jazz, they're looking for those parts, and sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not in the same place you'd expect them to be. So I think it confuses the listener when they're used to listening in a certain form, and this is different. I think we were the first brunch music act that Phil had booked, because there used to be booths where the stage is now. And he took a couple booths out and built this little stage and had this idea to, you know, create a music brunch for people. And when I heard about it, I was here for another show, and I was talking to Phil, and I said, you know, Phil, I said, in every street corner in Manhattan, there's a jazz brunch on Sunday, like everyone. And I had played in one at Cleopatra's Needle for years when I lived down there. So he's a big jazz fan. So he says, okay, let's start. And it was like the first Sunday of the month.
Jazz? What's so special about jazz for you?
Well, number one, you know, it is the American art form. That's number one. And two, there's a freedom inside of it. Even though there's, you know, lots of rules in music, you know, just like a lot of things. But what jazz does is it puts up kind of like this boundary or fence around the property. And you can do kind of like anything you want inside that fence, but you have to stay inside the fence. So it creates a lot of creativity and a lot of improvisation, which I really enjoy.
What are some of the rules inside that fence? And, you know, and I'm asking that because there's so many people who don't get it, like can't really grasp
Yeah, sometimes jazz is hard for people to grab a hold of. Well, one thing, and this is my primary rule, is be a great listener. Because of the improvisational quality of the music, you really have to be attuned to what your other band members are doing. So you can either compliment them or play off them or, you know, create a little tension. So listening is number one, the number one rule, and obviously follow the form of the chart. That's the second general rule, and everything else is kind of like, let's see how this goes.